Well, France, sadly, under President Macron, is in a state of utter turmoil. Two attacks highlighting the sad decline, the sad state of modern day France. Before I get to that though, I must first address the big developments we've seen today here. And that is the Reform Shadow Cabinet being unveiled in a country now where we're seeing unemployment rocket under Labour. We're seeing nearly 1 in 5 young men in this country not even having a job now. The unemployment rate for young men, the highest in a decade. And by the way, I wrote about the victory for English democracy over at Heathen News today. Go and read that article. I'll put a link below this video. But look, Labour cancelling elections or trying to, destroying the economy, and now, of course, being completely and utterly exposed. I mean, this from Labour representative, Labour MP Stephen Kinnock today was pretty embarrassing stuff.
We've heard the argument. Sorry, Mr. Kinnock, with all due respect, we know the argument. I'm asking you why you changed your mind at the last minute, seemingly yesterday.
Well, there was legal advice.
What was the difference in the legal advice you got then versus previously? Because you must have got legal advice before.
Yes. So I'm a minister in the Department for Health and Social Care. I'm not a minister in the Ministry for Housing and Communities and Local Government. So I haven't seen the legal advice itself. You'd need to talk to one of my ministerial colleagues in MHCLG on that. But what I do know is that the advice changed. So There was advice. We wouldn't have gone forward with the original proposal if we didn't have legal advice to make it clear that we could do so. We then have had new legal advice, which has caused us to withdraw that original proposal. This government will always act on the basis of the legal advice that we receive. We could have challenged that legal advice, but that would, if we had challenged it and lost, that would have had even more serious implications for our ability to push through the reforms that we wanted to do. And so
look, it seems perfectly reasonable that you got legal advice, you got new legal advice, you changed your mind. But when it's the 15th time you've changed your mind on something, it starts to seem a bit unreasonable. It seems like you don't quite know what you're doing as you're going forward, leading this country.
And of course, that was a major reform victory. Don't buy into the Tory spin. Conservatives locally were asking for elections to be cancelled. This was a major victory for democracy and for reform.
So a big win. We took the government to court during the High Court this Thursday over the cancellation of 30 elections around the country. In the case of Norfolk, Suffolk, East and West Sussex, this would have been the second year in a row elections have been cancelled. So it's the Labour government colluding with the Conservatives, and in the case of Cheltenham, the Lib Dems as well, trying to stop 4.6 million people from having their vote, some for the second year in a row. The government have collapsed, they've caved in, we will not see them in court, they accept that we're right. All 30 elections will go ahead. 4.6 million people now get the vote. And when you think about it, as they're paying their council tax, don't they deserve that vote? This is a huge win for democracy, a huge win for reform. And I'll tell you what, we're going to campaign like hell.
And that comes at a time where, of course, you're seeing now reform support continue to increase. This is out from JL Partners today, recording reform's highest level of support since September. Yeah, you did see today the unveiling of a strong cabinet lineup. Nigel Farage unveiling Robert Jenrick, Suella Braverman, Zia Youssef, Richard Tice.
What you're seeing today is just the start, but a very important start, and 4 very competent, capable people who will take on these areas, do their own press events, travel around the United Kingdom, and you'll be seeing a lot more of all of them over the course of the coming days, weeks and months, and who knows, maybe a little bit less of me. We're certain that Britain is broken and that Britain needs reform. We're deadly serious about what we're doing. We are now the opposition to the Labour government, and we intend to campaign in even more seats than we thought this time yesterday as May the 7th approaches, which is our next big, very big landmark moment.
So look, meanwhile, when it comes to the tragic state of France, please Don't rely on the likes of the BBC, people pointing out just how obscene some of the BBC headlines nowadays are. This absurd framing. I mean, it's been written by a bunch of Corbynistas at a student union, which I guess isn't far off some of the BBC's coverage nowadays. But even in their article, they report on this attack, and the Interior Minister of France describing this mob killing as the far left. The Justice Minister in France describing this killing as the far left. Of that, there is no question. And what has been described now in France as the ultra-left, you are seeing, sadly, brutally beating and killing a 23-year-old who died from a severe brain injury after this attack on the streets of Lyon. Attacked there, it's claimed, by at least 6 people. Marine Le Pen appealing for the barbarians responsible for the lynching to face the full force of the law. And this was a student beaten severely, identified only as Quentin D, was reportedly there part of a small team providing security for a feminist group, but then it seems was attacked and killed. And you see there again the Justice Minister blaming the ultra-left for this. This young man apparently followed, attacked, allegedly by violent left-wing fanatics. And that therefore has sparked a call now to ban Antifa. I mean, it seems to me the far left for far too long have basically got a free pass from the establishment, but this is truly, truly worrying. We've also seen another disturbing development, attack in France, this time at the Arc de Triomphe. And this was allegedly someone who had been released from prison, who had been serving a 17-year sentence for stabbing 2 Belgian police officers, and a radical Islamist then attempting to knife French cops. You can see this alleged terrorist shot dead after this knife attack. But you can see here the insanity of this. The alleged terrorist released from prison less than 2 months ago after being convicted of a similar attack on police officers in Belgium. And the report there from French media that indeed this person had allegedly said that they had intended to commit a massacre at the Arc de Triomphe. They wanted to avenge men and women killed by infidels. So that is the worrying, disturbing state of France in 2026. Is it any wonder that support for Macron is at rock bottom? Is it any wonder that the National Rally are now on course to win the next French election? But please do let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments below. And of course, as ever, cheers for watching.